J. Edgar Hoover, the director of the Federal Bureau of Investigation from 1924 to 1972, issued a memo dated March 4, 1968, which admitted to the Bureau's secret agreement with the media to discredit targeted groups. The memo points to the government as the source of a slanderous media attack, even through black reporters. It states, in every instance, careful attention must be given to the proposal to ensure the targeted group is disrupted or discredited through the publicity and not merely publicized. The stated purpose of the slanderous campaign, quote, is to prevent sincere black leaders from gaining respectability by discrediting them in 1. The responsible Negro community, 2. The white community, 3. And with the followers of the movement.
Every story, every article gets worse and worse and worse. I think the media is in a frenzy to rid this county of Yahweh ben Yahweh.
We sought to take Janet Reno's deposition, and the judge said, well, we don't want to bother her, but we were permitted to take the depo of one of the highest-ranking people in the office. And he stated under oath, he said the reason that we went there was because the case was weak, and we knew that if we threw them all together and called it racketeering, that there was a better chance of it sticking.
But clearly, a lot of individuals that were prosecuted and pretrial detained were done so on the evidence brought forth by Robert Rozier.
Mr. Rozier was obviously the common thread that sort of wove the fabric of the prosecution's case.
It all comes from the testimony of one person, a man named Robert Rozier, a former Yahweh, who is a confessed murderer of 4 people. And in exchange for a 22-year sentence for 4 murders, he promised the FBI that he could bring in Yahweh ben Yahweh.
Robert Rozier is your worst nightmare. He is a violent, cold, calculating, cocky man. So he made his lies fit their version. He read every document, he reviewed every report, he reviewed every sworn statement of every piece of evidence against him. He knew what the police knew. The state wants you to think that was corroboration. It wasn't corroboration. He knew about it before he ever started talking. So he made his lies fit their version. He saw crime scene photos. While he's sitting in jail, Robert Rozier was desperate, destitute, and facing death. And he does what comes naturally. He lied.
And Robert Rozier made statements that were truly outrageous. Robert Rozier, why is it that you can believe that he'll kill you, but you won't believe he'll lie to you? Robert Rozier had, I believe, good reason to lie. Because of the sentence he was given and the opportunity he was given to get out earlier. Yeah, it was 22 years for 4 murders, and he admitted to 3 other murders. It was argued to the jury, and what the government stated is that on the prior occasions that Robert Rozier had made statements, he had lied then, but that when he was testifying, he was telling the truth.
What are the consequences for Robert Rozier? A year for murder. A year for murder. Federal Witness Protection Program. He's going to be relocated, re-identified, and living as somebody's next door neighbor. Robert Rozier. There's evidence of systemic racism rampant in our federal courts.
Well, Herb Cousins, the FBI case agent, had to have Yahweh ben Yahweh's temples under scrutiny for, I believe, since about 1982 or 1983, according to his testimony at trial, that it was Herb Cousins' job for the last 10 years to get Yahweh ben Yahweh.
But it was very clear from the beginning that the aim of the prosecution, or one of its aims, was to put Yahweh ben Yahweh in jail, to put these other folks in jail kind of incidentally, and just to make things look fair. And equally as important was to stop the financial life of the organization, because by crippling it put the nation of the Hebrew Israelites out of business.
On November 7th, 1990, the federal government orchestrated a surprise raid on the nation of Yahweh. The raid encompassed 5 states, during which time everyone from senior citizens to preschool children found themselves at gunpoint. Both males and females were handcuffed, strip searched, and forced to lay in the streets. There was no resistance. No weapons were found. No drugs were found. In fact, there was nothing illegal found at all. Yahweh ben Yahweh and 16 of his followers were arrested and held without bond pending trial.
For such is the kingdom of heaven. And you want to go to heaven? Heaven is on the earth. You're not going there without children. So God has little babies having babies. And you're against that. Kids having kids. If it wasn't kids having kids, there wouldn't be no niggas left. Oh, you've been taught tonight. I said, you've been given some keys tonight, children. And tell me I made it up. Come on. Tell me I made all this up. Where is it coming from? If you don't know it's coming from the Bible, you just don't know the Bible. I sound like a radical, don't I? Don't I? They accuse me of being a militant. Well, then that's what the son must have been, because the government was against it. How many of you understand by your nature the government has to be against me? That means the FBI is listening tonight. This room is bugged. They subpoenaed my itinerary of where I would travel for these next 6 weeks. They had every place. They meet me at the airport. They follow me into the town. They follow me to wherever I go. They're just all around, cars everywhere. I don't give a hoot about crackers. What they do. And if one of you in here is an FBI agent for them or informant for them, welcome. Because you nor your boss can do a thing about what I'm teaching. It comes from the Creator, Yahweh, and He's in charge of everything. And there's nothing any man can do about that. And I have no fear of a man. I just want you to know, I know they running all around following and listening and watching you, and they don't want you to get it. And that's why the numbers are small. I'm not interested in putting pictures out all over the buildings, all over cities, and trying to have hundreds of thousands present. I'm satisfied to fulfill the word. The word says that you will come to me one by one. So if only one of you come to me tonight, I'm satisfied. I'm fulfilling the word. One by one. I'm teaching the straight gate. I'm teaching the straight highway. And it's only a few that can find it. But the way to hell is broad. Plenty there are that be on it. And there are leaders that can get 10, 20, 30,000 together in a room and take you all to hell. That's where you're headed. If you don't know what hell is, it's on earth. It's right here. It's in America. It's going on. They don't have nothing to take you to.
Ben Yahweh's attorney, though, says the charges are false, brought on by former members of the sect, and pursued by U.S. Attorney Dexter Leighton for political reasons.
I guess he was waiting till the excitement of his wife's re-election was over until he wanted to become a star on television again. After they removed him from the Noriega case, he has to do something, so I guess Yahweh ben Yahweh was number 2.
All but 4 of the 17 people named in the indictment are in custody now. 7 of them were arrested here in Dade County. Ben Yahweh has been instructed by his attorney to waive extradition from New Orleans and could be back in South Florida by tomorrow. If convicted on all counts, could face 60 years in prison. In Liberty City, Rick Chambers, Channel 7 News.
Yahweh faith kicked out of federal court. For security reasons, the sect's trademark white robes and turbans are forbidden attire in the courtroom, except for those on trial.
I feel violated as far as my constitutional rights.
This man, former Yahweh Robert Rozier, is the star witness for the prosecution. He pled out to 4 murders and will testify for the feds against Yahweh and a number of co-defendants. The defense in this case is playing it close to the vest. Out of 16 attorneys, only 4 got up to deliver opening arguments. Those that did slammed the government's witnesses as a pack of criminals who can't be trusted. At the same time, they held up the nation of Yahweh as a legitimate religion with some unique ideas.
And I think it's precisely because of some of the things they believe in that they're being prosecuted.
But does that excuse alleged murders, 14 of them supposedly?
And I clearly said in my opening statement that my client didn't have anything to do with any homicides and that the religion doesn't condone that type of activity at all.
Prosecutors allege former members will take the stand and say Yahweh ben Yahweh told them to cut off the ears of murder victims to prove the deed had been done. Jurors were warned they'd be shocked. But the Yahwehs maintain their religion is no racketeering enterprise and their leader no criminal. In Fort Lauderdale, Susan Kelleher, Channel 7 News.
Little children dance in the spirit of play, but these children of the Yahweh spiritual sect scatter when an adult comes out to tell us to leave. Yahweh University doors are closed. A woman in the back can't tell us when they will open. The children are friendlier. At one time, the Yahwehs proudly displayed their wealth, estimated at $7 million in Dade County property. But when their spiritual leader was arrested, it was the beginning of a fight to fend off creditors. A Yahweh warehouse is long abandoned. A nearby printing plant has changed its name, changed owners. Bankers say the Yahwehs once brought bags of cash into deposit. Their formula for wealth? Followers sweat equity and creative financing, turned ruins new again, allowing them to accumulate more. But that was then. Today, the Temple of Love is foreclosed, remnants in the road of what was once a business bonanza. The former Temple of Love is now the Temple of Trash. This place was closed down last August, the contents strewn outside. Basically, it's a disaster. Community leaders say that is one thing the spiritual leader did know how to do right. He knew how to put new spirit into fading Miami properties.
They have had the best hotel facilities. They had revitalized the buildings that they had bought. They were in top shape when they were turned back over to the property owners. And we are very, very proud that whatever they have done it with pride and dignity.
But the only last visible reminder of that Yahweh pride is the Resort Villa Hotel on 2nd Avenue. Wealth is not in their vocabulary now. I was wondering if this motel is still open. Yeah, is it open for business? And inside the grocery store shelves, a reminder of what was once a poverty to riches story. Jane Acree, Channel 7 News, Miami.
In traditional white robes, heads wrapped in turbans, Yahweh followers file into federal court. It's day 1 of the trial of their leader, Yahweh ben Yahweh. Former Yahweh and confessed killer Robert Rozier is the government's smoking gun and is expected to testify he was directed by ben Yahweh to murder defectors. But sect members, denied access to court because of their clothing, say it's their religion that's on trial and their leader who's being persecuted.
This is the image we have of the Yahwehs, devout followers of their leader, Yahweh ben Yahweh, the self-proclaimed Son of God. The supporters of Yahweh claim today, adding it's their leader in jail who is now the victim of racism.
This case represents a travesty of justice because it has too many racial and religious overtones.
But today from his jail cell, ben Yahweh claims it was all a plot by the white establishment to destroy his black congregation.
Where a whole religion is indicted and a whole nation is indicted.
Today, the U.S. Attorney was unavailable for comment, but the government reportedly has former Yahwehs who will testify about ben Yahweh's criminal activities. And while Yahweh claims he's lost his freedom, he's also losing his empire. At the height of his power, ben Yahweh claimed his properties, hotels, apartments, stores, were worth nearly $250 million. Now, all that's changed. His temple, his pride, has been trashed, and many of his properties have either been sold or seized. Yahweh's supporters aren't certain how much property they've lost, just that they've lost quite a bit.
because there was, in fact, a falling off in the community of support. Again, mainly because of the negativity that was attracted and the aspersions that were cast out on this particular group of people.
But in a month, Yahweh will go on trial. Then we'll learn if he's a victim of racism, as he claims, or as the government charges, just another crook hiding behind the cloth.
Seated on the rostrum with us today is an old friend of mine that I have known for nearly 20 years or better. He is a man whom Miami is very well acquainted with. Brother Yahweh Ben Yahweh. So my son